good afternoon, everyone. Kind of reflecting back on Saturday, first thing is what a great crowd, what a great environment, what great energy. It was fun to be back at the Bill with it filled up and coming in and seeing the tailgate lots and having our players kind of walk through the front entrance with a bunch of fans and our band there, and then to run out of the tunnel to start the game was pretty electric for the guys, especially the ones that had not experienced that. You know, the Will Howards and Deuce Vaughns and TJs and T, some of the younger players that missed on that last year. So thank you for everybody for coming out for the game. It was an electric atmosphere. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully that continues because our guys are going to continue to work hard and see what we can make of the season. Obviously, everybody knows that we're down Skyler. I really don't have a timetable for you guys. I know he's not out for the season. That's the positive side of things. But we're going to kind of take it week by week. He is going to be out this week. Then we'll reevaluate it based on how he's feeling, as well as based on what the docs say. So that's kind of as far as I'll get into it with him. But we're excited about the challenge we have. We're going to face a really good Nevada team. Tremendous offensive team with a really good quarterback, really good couple running backs, some wide receivers, good old offensive line. They want to throw it all over the yard, but they can run it and run it effectively. And then on defense, I'm familiar with their defensive coordinator, Brian Ward's a friend of mine, and Brian worked with Scotty Hazelton for a few years, worked with Steve Standard. Kind of came from the same tree that I came from a defensive standpoint. Doesn't mean we're going to know what they're going to do by any means, because he's got really good players and a really good scheme, but there is some familiarity. But B. Ward's done a terrific job, and so is Jay Norvell. I've known Jay for an awful long time, and he's done a great job at Nevada, and they're playing at a high level with a lot of seniors.
Yeah, Carson Strong is obviously getting some first round buzz as a quarterback. What are your initial thoughts and comments?
Yeah, rightfully so. I think he calls a lot of the things himself at the line of scrimmage. Out of their tempo, although they can go fast, they'll slow it down some so that he can get them in the right call, or the call that he likes. And tremendous arm strength, mobile guy that just, you know, he sees so many coverages, and he's seen so much and played so many snaps. It's not easy to fool a kid like that, guys that have had that many snaps, and we just got to do a great job of being able to rush the passer and be competitive on a lot of potential 50-50 throws.
And ball security was kind of Will's issue last Saturday. Was there anything that was reoccurring that contributed to that?
It wasn't just Will Howard. It was we fumbled a couple of his running backs too. Even after the ball was, luckily down, they stripped it a couple of times, and so something that we have to address as a offense. We have to do a better job of taking care of the football, and we've got to continue to work some ball security drills, because we've opened up that can of worms, and it's like blocking a punt. Once you block a punt, people are going to come after you for a long time. So something that we're well aware of, need to address. We cannot turn the football over 4 times and expect to win a football game, and we were fortunate that we were able to do it last week.
Is Skyler able to do anything right now? Mental reps of practice, anything like that?
Standing around at practice, but no, not at all.
Okay. And fumbles on the other side of the ball, you created a few, and Felix was in on 2 of them. How much of appreciation do you have for a defender who can both make a tackle like that and knock the ball loose?
It's something that Coach Wyatt, Coach Tui work on with our guys. Of when you get there, if you have the ability to rake and strip the football, we always want to do that. We were fortunate at 2 critical times. One time leading us to a short field, although we didn't capitalize, and then the other one really late in the game when they were driving to potentially tie the game. That was a big play, and we were able to get on both those fumbles. So something that we actively work on in practice.
And Deuce Vaughn, what stood out to me about him last game is he had 3 rushing touchdowns, all near the goal line. That's not something we've seen a ton from him over the years. Has he gotten better at that in the past season?
Well, I told everybody before the season he's an underrated running back, and people think he's a terrific scat kind of kid out of the backfield and some jet sweep guys, and I've seen it now for a little over a year, because that's all we've had him, is that he's a terrific between the tackles runner, and he's a powerful guy that low center of gravity and finds a way to get tough yards. And so I've seen it since he's been here, and I think people are probably seeing, yeah, this kid can be an every down back.
With Jaron now stepping into that role as backup quarterback, just what does he bring from a skill set standpoint as a QB?
Confidence, a guy that's been in the system now for 3 years, and maturity, and I'm excited to see him getting more reps with our second team offense. You don't take many when you're the third guy. He took a ton in fall camp, and I saw the great improvement that he has made over the last year, and so he's one step closer to playing, and I know I've talked to Coach Klein and Coach Mess about this. We're very confident in him, and if something happens or there's a situation that dictates that he can play, then we're gonna have no problem using him, because just seeing his growth over the last 2 years and watch what he did in the spring and the fall, he's playing with a lot of confidence, and I'm excited about what he can do.
How big is the gap between he and Will right now?
I don't think it's tremendously big at all. Experience, game snaps is the biggest gap, and with us going good on good as much as we do during the week, and Jaron will take a lot of those reps just because we need to see him take a lot of those reps. Maybe he can shrink that gap even.
And did you feel like Will's confidence has been shaken at all in the aftermath of Saturday?
No, he didn't play tremendously well on Saturday for what our standards are, Will, and what Will's standards are. Some of that was we weren't great in protection. One time when he lost the ball, we missed a couple of assignments in some routes where I think the ball's put in the right spot, but we ran the wrong route. Sometimes you see it from above and you think, boy, what the heck's wrong with the quarterback when he's expecting a route to be open in a certain spot and the kid runs the wrong route, and you hold on to it a little bit too long. And he's got to make some better decisions when he does have to hold on to it too long. But I look forward to seeing Will have a full week of practice and play the way that he knows he's capable of, and we know he's capable of.
Can you put into words what your reaction was when you heard Skyler wasn't gone for the year?
Well, I was thrilled for him personally, just because it's kind of like deja vu. I mean, I saw that same scenario a year ago in the second game, and I thought, nobody deserves this. For as great a person as he is, and great a kid as he is, and so how hard he's worked, I thought, just life's not fair. We all know that sometimes you're dealt those hands that you don't typically deserve. And so when I learned on Sunday more late afternoon that he wasn't going to be gone for the season, I reached out to him and talked to him at length, and just said, you got to keep getting your body ready. You got to keep preparing. You got to keep doing the things nutrition wise. You got to, as best he can, keep his cardio up, which is going to be difficult. But you got to stay sharp and in meetings and so forth, so that when that time comes, whenever that is, he's ready to go. And so I think it gave a little bit of more of a lift and life to our players too, to say, wait, we're going to get this guy back at some point.
And could you expand on that Nevada defense? What type of things did they do that could give you issues?
One, they're a 4-down front that's really disruptive, and a lot of older guys on the front. I think they have 9 or 10 starters that are older, 4th, 5th, 6-year seniors, and they've been in that system for a while now, and they just play it so fast, and they know where each other fits, and so when you have a defense that is confident in each other, confidence in the scheme, they play fast. They've got really good players too. There's a lot of guys in the football, a lot of guys know what they're doing. They're really assignment sound. They don't beat themselves.
And 2 games in, could you assess special teams overall?
We need to be better, bottom line. We're not poor by any means, but we put as much time and effort as anybody in the country, I believe, and in any place I've ever been, into special teams work. And we're not seeing probably the dividends of the time we're putting in. And we talked about that as a staff. We talked about it with the guys yesterday, that we're not playing poorly by any means, but we need to make a difference. We need to flip a field. We need to get a touchdown. We need to do something that provides us 7 points, or simple thing. We got to pin the ball inside the 5 when we have a chance to pin the ball inside the 5. Those are the hidden yards that really exceptional special teams units like I think believe we have will do. And so for us, we're going to continue to work at it like we have been, and I'm looking forward to even better games on it.
What do you think the safety position as a whole has looked like through 2 games?
I'm pleased with the safety position. We're playing a number of guys there between J-Mac and Ross and one of them, and Rush East and Amaris, and then TJ and Sincere. We've got 6 guys that are playing back there, and I think they're all kind of interchangeable parts, and knock on wood, we can stay healthy there so that we can keep all those guys in the rotation. But we're deep back there. I think Rush East is playing really well. I think TJ's playing well. I think you're going to see better football out of TJ. I think J-Mac and Ross are complement each other well and are playing well. I think both those 2 kids will play better. They had some injuries in fall camp that probably hasn't had them 100%, but I think they're getting closer there. But I like where we're at, much better right now than we were last year in the secondary.
And then Duke, Felix, Matlack, and Boom, 4 solid defensive ends. How do you, is that the best that unit's looked since you've been here?
Well, you don't have a guy like Wyatt that's a draftable guy that is making big time plays, but we have more depth there for sure. All of them have the ability to do things like Wyatt did. They're all young for the most part. Boom's not, but the other 3 guys you mentioned are just really learning to play the position and play it so fast and play it so physical that we can cut them loose knowing we're going to be able to substitute and get them in and out of there. But pleased overall with the defensive line, with the amount of guys that we've played up front.
And how dangerous could that diamond formation be this season for you guys?
It can be. We need to be a little bit more efficient out of it. We had some really good plays, then we had some plays that I thought were close that maybe we missed a block on. We need to block better on the perimeter. We blocked really well on the perimeter against Stanford. We didn't sustain blocks as well everywhere, wideouts, tight ends, fullbacks, offensive line, as we did against Stanford. And that's where I think I mentioned we made a few second game mistakes that you typically make in the first game, and some of that was identification of who we're blocking as well as sustaining blocks.
Chris, that leads me into my question from that quote on Saturday. How do you address that with the team about the mistakes from the first game that you made in the second game?
Yeah, well, you
keep it positive.
Yeah, you don't shy away from it. For starters, you tell them we need to play better in these certain areas. There's no such thing as a bad win in college football. A win is a win, and we're going to learn from it. But we came in and had a good meeting yesterday. The players met both sides of the ball, and we met as a team and talked about how much better we could be if we do those little things. And those little things have to happen on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in practice. They can't just happen on Saturday. If our technique is sloppy on a Wednesday, how do we expect that technique to be crisp and clean on Saturday? And so it's not like we're not practicing hard. The guys are having good energy and good focus in practice, but I think our technique can be better because a lot of the things, whether it's special teams, to tackling, to blocking on the perimeter, comes down to technique. And if we're sloppy during the week, we're going to be sloppy on Saturday. We as a staff can't allow it. We've got to clean it up, and the kids know it.
How did your offensive line break out against Southern Illinois?
I thought we played well. Same thing. I didn't think we played as well as we did against Stanford, but I thought we played well. We rushed the ball decently. We just didn't get the explosive play because of the sustaining of blocks, but we were able to create some holes. Had a couple of hits on quarterbacks that we'd like to clean up, but I thought Revis played really well. Revis and Beebe together right now on the same side is a really good combination, and those guys are getting a lot of movement.
Have their wide receivers that go 6'4", 6'4", 6'2", 6'6", tight end, they got your attention?
Yeah, very similar to Stanford as far as the big body wide receivers that come up with 50-50 balls and back shoulder fades and throw it up in the area, and they find a way to come down with them. I think playing against Stanford will help us in that scenario, just because we've done this before. But we have to come up with some of those 50-50 balls, and you got a really good quarterback throwing it to him.
Chris, I know he's been here before, but how have you seen Will kind of step up and react this week, knowing he's going to be the guy?
Well, he's gonna play and prepare like I know he will be able to, and know he did last year. His preparation was really good last year. I don't know if his skill set was as ready as it is now. He's 240 plus pounds. He's stronger. He's more aware of what the situation is. He's more aware of what we're doing offensively. And the thing that we talked about with our players, maybe our offensive line needs to step up and help him out a little bit more. Maybe our wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs can step up and help him more. So it's not all on the quarterback position, just like on defense or on special teams. Everybody needs to raise their level of play when you lose a really good player like we did with Skyler. That it can't be, okay, it is next man up, and we got to plug in the next player at whatever position it is. But the positions around those guys and the positions on the other side of the ball, they have to raise their level of play.
I also wanted to ask how Jake Rubley has been looking in practice.
Jake's doing a nice job. He sustained a little bit of soft tissue injury before Stanford, so he's been down for a little while. He's finally coming back to practice full time with us on a scout team standpoint, but really pleased with what I've seen throughout fall camp of a young man that has a chance to be a really good player here. He's probably not ready to play just because he lost a number of snaps at the end of fall camp, is right before we play in Stanford, but I'm pleased with his progress right now.
Coach, I know you've mentioned before that you don't feel comfortable, you have the best backup quarterback in the country,
Yep.
Will Howard, now the starter. To what degree of confidence do you have that Will Howard will be able to run the show?
I think we've had the question already before, but just the way he prepares, and he prepared last year. He's just more ready from a skill set, and he's stronger and bigger and faster, and understands our offense better. And Will give it his all and play the best of his ability, and we all around him have to play better as well.
How much does it help having a guy in Deuce Vaughn, a guy who's got a lot of experience with, and he's been playing pretty well right now?
Yeah, I'd give it to 22 an awful lot as well. I mean, give him the football and let him roll a little bit. But we have to play really well at tight end and at wide receiver so that we can have some passing games, so that we can open some things up for Deuce. That's something that we believe, regardless of whether it was Skyler in there or Will through the first two games, we have to throw the football more efficiently. And whether that's in early downs, whether that's on third down, our issue has become we've had too many 3rd and 7+ situations, which is an advantage for the defense. And we need to be getting into some of those 3rd and shorts and mediums where we can use the field, space people out, throw some quick game stuff on 3rd down. And if we can get more efficient throwing the football, I don't care if that's 1st down or 3rd down, it's going to open more things up for Deuce.
Are there any changes with Will Howard at the helm as opposed to what with Skyler, Thompson?
No, not really. Same game plan.
With Deuce, I know he did fumble, but he mentioned to us it was his first fumble since sophomore year of high school, I think. I mean, how impressive just is the ball security that he generally does have?
Yeah, it's been good. I know he's frustrated, and give the kid from Southern Illinois credit. He just banged it out of there and did a heck of a job. That we've got to hang on to the football. Deuce knows that, but it's pretty remarkable to only have one fumble. Let's hope that was his last one, and I know he hopes the same thing.
And I know you mentioned it a little bit post game, but just looking at the film, how much of a difference did having Daniel Green in the second half make?
Made a huge difference. He brought Nick Allen played well. Don't get me wrong, but it just had Nick had to play every snap, plus play every snap special teams, and we ended up playing an awful lot of snaps there for a while in that second quarter, and that really, I think, gassed Nick. So it really helped to have Deuce. Just gave us some energy, gave us a great communicator back there, gave us what I believe is a really good inside linebacker to complement Cody Fletcher, and so we're excited to have Daniel back for the whole game this week.
Chris, you brought up the difference between the 3rd and 7 and the 3rd and 4. What does that mean over the long haul? When you're talking about 12 games.
Well, you get them in a conflict of, are we going to run it? Are we going to pass it? Are we going to have an RPO game? Are we going to use our jet game? There's just so many more things you can do on 3rd and 2 to 5 as opposed to 3rd and 7+. You're not going to get those situations like we had against Stanford where we knew the look and we can hand the ball off, and then you allow people to just lay their ears back, and you're not getting people sucked up on any play action. Linebackers are staying in coverage. The man coverage plays at the sticks, so to speak, more on 3rd and long. And so if we can get into more of those third and short to third and medium, I think it opens up more things for Coach Mess to be able to say, hey, we can run the football. The other thing is, you know, it was a 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 late in that second quarter where we went for it. You know, if Will doesn't get a good gain on whatever it was, 3rd and long and running the football, we probably punt that thing away. As you guys see, the landscape of college football is changing. Possessions are so valuable. You only get maybe 10, 12 possessions potentially in the game. There's more and more people across the country going for it on 4th down now. At an alarming rate, more and more people are going for it. Well, if you're in that 4th and 1 through 4, odds are you have a potential better chance of getting that and being able to sustain a drive. And so for us, we've got to find a way to get to more of the 1 to 4, 1 to 5 manageable rates.
On those 4th down type plays, with the relationship that you have with Mess, is it he's typically telling or saying, let's go forward, or
No, he's do whatever we say, but he knows that I'm going to be more aggressive with the people we have. And once again, I looked at that scenario. We were really struggling on offense at that time. And we'd just given up 2 straight scores, and I thought we needed to get momentum for the offense. I thought we needed to get momentum for Will Howard. And so Will makes a great play to get the ball to Landry on 4th and 4, and then we err in protection and don't pick a kid up, and yeah, Will takes a sack. Okay, I'm okay with that. We can't fumble the ball like he did, but if he takes a sack, maybe we still have a chance on a 2nd down or whatever it was, 3rd down, to keep that drive alive. So it was, you know, maybe a little bit of a risky move, but I thought at that time we needed to do that to give ourselves a chance to keep this drive alive so that we could get some momentum going into half. Plus, I knew that they were getting the ball to start the second half, and I thought if we could get some kind of points in the first half, give us a little bit of life.
Chris, you're aware of who has pedigree under Jen Val, Chris Hall. Is it important to import that to your team, or is it just about game prep?
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of our guys would remember Chris Alt like us as we as coaches do, but you just see their body of work, and especially what they've done this year and last year, you know, because those are the main games we're watching. You can see that these guys are an explosive group of guys offensively, with big wide receivers that go catch the football, a quarterback that's confident that can get the ball around, that they can put up a lot of points in a hurry.
Is it particularly meaningful for you guys to kind of get the monkey off your back from an offensive standpoint in the 3rd quarter?
I'm not sure what you're asking on that.
Because you came out after halftime and had that successful drive where you was it 14 plays or something?
Yeah, I can't remember, but if we did, 2 things. One, we were going to take the football to start the game and try to score. If we won the toss, we were going to take the ball. They won the toss deferred, we were going to take the football to try to get jump started quickly with our offense. I was so pleased with our offense. We marched it right down and get a score. And then in the second half, if we were able to sustain that drive a little bit, even though we didn't get points, was always important. Gives that defense a rest and lets you know that some of your adjustments are definitely working that you made at halftime.
I don't know if they've been particularly tested a whole lot, but are you getting out of Julius Brents, Ekaboy-Doe at cornerback, which you were hoping entering the season?
Yeah, I think everybody on defense can raise our level of play a little bit, but yeah, I think Echo's playing at a really high level. Julius is settling in and understanding our defense more and more, and I think he'll play at a higher level once he gets more and more comfortable. We're still going to play an awful lot of guys. T played some, Justin Gardner played some. We still have to have a pretty good rotation there, but you know, that's what we do. We're just going to play an awful lot of guys.
Anything else?
Talk about that first drive of the 3rd quarter. I think you mentioned the wind was a factor in keeping you on the ground. Was also ball security maybe a factor there to try to?
For us, really, the wind was a huge factor. We came out and I asked Hank before we went in, what was the wind going to do? And he said it was going to pick up as the game went on. And so I wanted to have the wind in the 4th quarter. I knew that was taking a chance by kicking them the football and giving them the wind. But we had a quick 3 and out or 4 and out on defense. Then we were able to sustain that drive, took most of the quarter up. I thought that was really important because that wind was it was really whipping in that fourth quarter, and I think it pushed their ball. I thought the kid had a pretty good attempt at the field goal. I just think the wind pushed it left, and it allowed us. Ty had a great punt in the fourth quarter, pinning them inside the 10-yard line, where it was with the wind, and some of that was dictated more on the wind than it was just him trying to establish the run.
Anything else? All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you.
It'll
You
go
too.
fast.
They always do.
Yeah, they always do. They say, oh.